Hello everyone, welcome to the final project on the Spark for data cleaning or ETL. Let me give you a slight introduction on why do you need big data systems and why do we need the ETL tools like Apache Spark. So in this big data era and organizations collecting massive amount of data on a continuous basis, there is an increasing need for the application to process the data on a nearly real-time basis. I would be basically using a pipeline to connect different big data components. I would be using Apache Spark as an ETL tool, which would be the major topic of this presentation. There are pros and cons using Apache Spark. It's very fast because of its ability to perform in-memory processing. It has got even drawbacks that in-memory capabilities can become a bottleneck when it comes to cost-efficient processing of big data. It does not have its file management system, so you need to integrate with Hadoop or other cloud-based data platform. This is a pipeline which I would be following up. We have Twitter, we have got Flume, which pulls the data from Twitter, and then Flume would be syncing up the data to Kafka. Spark would be pulling up the data from Kafka and sending the information to Postgres. Flume is also a highly reliable, distributed and configurable tool. It is mainly designed to copy streaming data, log data from various web servers to HDFS. What is Kafka? It is a distributed streaming platform. It lets you publish and subscribe to streams of record. Now, this would be our main topic, Apache Spark, and Spark it is fast and general engine for large-scale data processing. It lets you store streams of records in a fault-tolerant way also. Again, Spark streaming is an extension of the core. Spark can consume data from multiple different sources, like, as I said, Kafka, again from Flume, Kinesis or TCP sockets as well. So it can even process the data using a Spark SQL and push the data to file system and databases. The ETL pipeline is again very important. It's a sequence of transformation on the data. It can transform structured, semi-structured or unstructured data. Output data is then sent for further analysis and reporting. In my case, I would be using Twitter as my source, and which pulls the data, pulls the hashtag associated with each tweet, transform the data and store it to the downstream system. This is the sample data, and you can see that hashtag element, which has got only one hashtag which says free band names. This is Kafka streaming, and you can see we are basically using Kafka util, which creates a direct stream which uses a streaming context. That is a streaming context, and I'm basically running it for every 10 seconds, and which pulls the data from Kafka. Spark SQL. In this case, we are using Spark SQL for selecting the information or the hashtags in the form of a query, and Spark SQL lets you do that. Spark SQL lets you query structured data inside Spark program using either SQL or any familiar data frame APIs. We'll see that in the coding section. Okay, here we go. This is my report. This is my first page about the report, which talks about the problem statement and the data set. Data set is the Twitter real-time. It's a Twitter data set. Twitter real-time stream would be our data set. Data is in the JSON format. For this, we need to have developer account in Twitter. I'll be talking about how to open up an account and whatnot. And the hardware is, I'm using MacBook Pro processor 2.5 gigahertz. Memory is a 16 GB. And the softwares used is Apache Flume, Apache Spark, PySpark, Postgres, PSY, COPG, Kafka. And use case is use Flume for collecting data from source Twitter and use it in the memory channel and send it to the sink. After Flume sends Twitter data to Kafka, we will have Kafka consumer writer in Python to extract the data in batches and send it to the Postgres database. Kafka util will be used to create input stream directly pulling messages from the Kafka broker, and then Apache Spark is used for data transformation and load into Postgres. We have seen the pros and cons. I'll be shortly adding up the YouTube URLs also in this. So let's move on to the setup. So for the initial step, we have to create a Twitter account. So if you do not have a Twitter account, I hope everyone should be having it. So if you have it, just directly click on the apps.twitter.com. Else create a Twitter account first and then log into the apps.twitter.com. So once you pass the steps are out here. We need to get into that. We need to say create new app and click on the key and access token tab and generate the access tokens. And then in this page, once we are done with that, we can see a couple of things like the consumer key, consumer secret, access token secret. So these are the 4 things which we needed. I'll show you how to set it up in the Flume configuration. Now next is we have to set up the Postgres database. We can download it from the postgresapp.com and install it, and then we have to download pgadmin 4, which is basically a tool in order to connect to the database. So this is the link which, used. Now install psycopg for Python. This is for connecting to the Postgres from Python. And this is how you basically open up the Postgres SQL. And in my case, if you click on this elephant symbol and then click on the start, this is how once you install Postgres, this is the option of starting it up. And it starts up. You can see it says started up. I'll show you how to even creating the database. So come here, go to pgadmin and let it open. Okay, so we have got the servers here. I have already created the server and it's asking for the password. I'm going to give the password here, and then we have got databases. I've created a database as final project project E63, and under that we have got schemas, public, and I have already created a table that is hashtag. Now let me just go to the query screen, wherein how do you query that? I can go to the query tool here, click on this by choosing on the project, and I would just say select start from hashtags. Okay, and then just run this query. I have a lot of information in the database. I'll even show you once we run the application as well. Okay, now next is download the Flume, and this is the link for that, and set up the Flume home in the bash profile, and download the Flume source from this particular link, and okay, and compile the jar. So what I've done is, if you let me just open up my IntelliJ, the Twitter source, this is the Twitter source which I've actually copied from this particular link. Why do we need this? Because we would be setting this in the Flume configuration. I'll talk about it when we get into the Flume setup. Okay, so configuring source and sinks for the Twitter in the Flume home /config folder. So let me just go there. So this is my iTerm, which I can open up multiple terminals here. So let me just go here. This is my Flume. You can see this is Apache Flume /bin. Go back and just say conf, and then open this up, open Twitter Flume properties. This is how it looks like. Let me just enlarge this. Okay, so here we go. These are the Twitter Kafka agent. Source is my Twitter. This is the memory channel, and the sink is the Kafka. And we have to add up all these configurations. Now this is what I was talking about, the Twitter source. We have to add it here, and then the consumer key, secret, consumer secret, access token secret, and the keywords. So these are the keywords I've used it before even I start up the Flume. So you guys can start up using any of the keywords. Now this is my sink, and in my case Kafka is my sink. So this is already this jar file is already part of the Flume libraries. I don't have to add this up. Okay, and this is my topic, and I'm giving the batch size as 10, and this is the broker list as localhost 9092. Okay, so let me go back to the bin folder again so that I can run the commands later, and let me go back to the report. And I have already shown you this one. Now we have to set up Kafka. So for setting up Kafka, go to this link and download that. And after downloading it, extract it, and you can run this command in order to start the Kafka Zookeeper server first. So let me just go back, and I'm already in the Kafka bin folder. So I'll go back here and just start the Zookeeper first. I'm going to start up a Kafka bin folder. I'll just say Kafka server start.sh config server.properties. Okay, now we can run the Flume right now. As I said, we have already seen the configuration of Flume, how to set up the channels and whatnot. So let me just go back and run the Flume here. So this is I think I'm already in the Flume folder. Yes, so I'll just go back and give this command. The moment I run this, it basically creates a it creates a topic, and the name of the topic is Twitter topic here, the one you see it out here. Okay, so the moment I run, you can see things starts running up, and it starts pulling up the feeds. Now you can see these are the JSON files which basically has been pulled up live from Twitter. As of now, I'm just going to stop it. Now this is my consumer code. What I've done is, this is my main function. So first take up the Spark context, and then use that Spark context. I'm setting up the error level to the log level to error, so that other information doesn't come up. I have the Spark streaming context. I have put a checkpoint. I'm basically getting even a SQL context also. And then I would be passing on two arguments, the brokers and the topics. And using the Kafka util, I create a direct stream, have a reference of data stream, and then once I get batches of data into the stream, I load every single Twitter feed and only pull the JSON format and put it in the data stream. And then I'm just saying how many tweets are there, and then I break every single tweet, and I only pull the hashtags and hashtags for that tweet. Let me just show you a sample of how the Twitter feed looks like here. Okay, so this is the Twitter feed, and these are the hashtags you can see here. And this is what I'm interested in actually, which is part of the entities. You can see hashtags inside entities, and got a lot of text here like live, Shilpa, Sinde, Shika. So these are the hashtags which would be which Twitter actually collects it from the actual text and puts it in the hashtags. So this is what I'm interested in. For every tweets, I pull up the hashtag and give it in the form of your I use the flat map, and then I convert those hashtags. I'm sending those information to another function that is a process RDD, and process RDD basically processes each RDD. So here I'm basically checking if the RDD is empty or not. If it is not empty, then I'm basically getting the SQL context, the Spark SQL context, and converting those hashtags into a row of hashtag and the hashtag count which would be used for querying. So you can see I'm using that the same values out here, hashtag counts. And then once I pull up those information, I send. I even show this information into the logs. I'll show you how it looks like. And then at the same time, after doing that, I'm sending those information to Postgres. Now, let me just go and show the live demo on how it looks like. Now for the, yep, I got it. Okay. So for the visualization, I've again used matplotlib, and this is the code for that. Where is the animation? Here we go. So let me just run up all the things so that we can see the live demo on what's happening and whatnot. So this is the Flume. I'm running the Flume, and here in this case, I'm going to run the script, which is going to pull the information from this particular Flume. Flume is actually sending up all the information to the Kafka, and this program is going to read all the information from the Kafka here. So you can see here, it runs for every 2 seconds, and you can see the batch count for every pull, and these are the hashtags which comes up out here, and you can see it keeps on running continuously. Okay, now let me just go to the Postgres database and just give a select star from hashtag, order by count, limit to 10 hashtags. Okay, so let me run this, and you can see order by count in a descending order. If I run this, you can see that this keeps on increasing here, and something is increasing out here. So let me even show you a live demo on how you can see that in some charts here, and run this particular program. Just say run animation, and you can see this. This is the top 10 hashtags, and you should see a change in every 5 seconds. Again, you can see the change. Here we go, and you can see the changes here. Okay, so it's working, and it's giving you the live data about the hashtags and whatnot. Okay, so that's all I had for my demo, and thank you everyone for watching this video.